Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you know last year that 47,000 African Americans were killed because of tobacco-related diseases? And don't you know when people stop smoking, the first thing that they do is gain weight? Why? Because they used to putting a cigarette in their mouth. Now they substitute that with unhealthy food. I'm your host, Darren Washington. I want to thank you for being on tonight's edition of Singles in the City. We got a very exciting but a healthy show tonight regarding tobacco cessation and tobacco prevention. We got Jackie Davis with us, who is with the St. Joe County Minority Health Coalition. Have a good friend of mine. His name is Mr. Glenn Reese, and he is a personal trainer and he owns his own business, 3G Fitness. But right now, I want to introduce our friend Jackie Davis. Thank you for coming all the way from South Bend, Indiana, representing the St. Joseph Minority Health Coalition. How are you this evening?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me, Mr. Washington.
I'm glad you came. Now let's cut to the chase, because you have nothing if you don't have your health.
Absolutely.
And right now during the General Assembly, and there is a bill, House Bill 1213, that Representative Charlie Brown, who is a state legislator here in Gary, Indiana, has sponsored regarding no smoking in public places. Can you kind of give our audience, our viewing audience, a breakdown of why House Bill 1213 is important?
It's absolutely important for so many reasons. Smoking is the #1 cause of preventable deaths, but secondhand smoke is the #3 cause of preventable deaths. That means I could die simply because I'm around you and your habit. House Bill 1213 protects all Hoosiers. There would be no smoking allowed in public places. That would include bars, casinos, and racinos. That's very important for minorities because mainly in these positions, we have minorities working. They're working fewer hours, getting fewer pay, less benefits, so they're more susceptible to develop a disease from secondhand smoke. So we want to protect those workers also. And this bill is wonderful in the fact that it's reaching out to everyone.
And you know, I talked to Representative Brown today, and he's going to try to call in tonight to kind of give us a background on where the bill is. I know one thing about the bill, casinos and bars were stripped out. They're working right now in the later part of the session to try to come to some kind of agreement to get the bill passed. But I know one thing that's interesting about the bill, and I'm looking at it, it makes it a Class B infraction to violate this smoking prohibition, and a Class A fraction if you are a person who has 3 unrelated prior offenses. And the thing I like about it is that it's getting very serious on people who smoke, in particular for people with secondhand smoke. More importantly, Jackie, the bill is very much needed because there are people who work in casinos, work in bars, work in other areas. We cannot say where a person is going to end up working, but they should not need to inhale secondhand smoke.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you the next question. What is your organization, the St. Joe Minority Health Coalition, doing to teach young people, teach adults? What are some of the things that are going on statewide regarding smoking cessation and tobacco prevention?
Okay, well, as far as dealing with young people, what we have is Voice, and it's a youth tobacco advocacy project. And what they do is they go into the schools, they fight big tobacco, they educate the community. It just empowers the youth to be involved with this issue of smoking. And so we're getting to them at an earlier age, and we're teaching them to not only be advocates, but we're empowering them to be also educators on this subject. So it's very exciting.
And for the audience, I just want to let you know a few tobacco facts. Again, I stated that last year alone, 47,000 African Americans were killed because of tobacco-related illnesses. Number 2, every cigarette contains over 4,000 chemicals. That means that you are inhaling these chemicals in your body. Number 3, Jackie, this is something that you alluded to. Secondhand smoke is the #3 cause of preventable deaths in the United States of America. Number 4, and let's just be honest about this, tobacco companies target minorities, that means African American, Latino, and children. Number 5, and we know this, and I'm glad that the federal government did this. My president, Barack Obama, who is, I hope that he's going to kick the habit of smoking.
I do too.
But they have increased taxes on cigarettes by 62 cents. Can you kind of comment on that and the reaction towards that?
That is wonderful, Mr. Washington. We have noticed that we have an Indiana Tobacco Quit line. Our calls have increased by 400 percent since that taxes went into effect. A lot of people are offended. They think it's very cruel, but I think what big tobacco does, especially to minority communities, is cruel. And you know that we spent $290 million on diseases from secondhand smoke. A lot of those people who are being seen in the ERs, they don't even have insurance. So that's costing the state a ridiculous amount of money. And we have to start somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Singles in the City. Call us tonight. If you are a person who has been able to kick the habit of smoking, if you even disagree that House Bill 1213 is not really a good bill to have, that you should have your freedom to smoke, I believe you should have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, but not to be able to spread that to other people.
Absolutely.
Call us at 881-0237. That is 881-0237. Let us know about your success stories. If you've given up smoking, how you've been able to give up smoking, how difficult it was, how you had to die out to nicotine, because nicotine is a very strong drug that people have a difficult time in kicking. And if you disagree, that's okay. We can agree to disagree on Singles in the City.
Yeah.